Kia ora, this is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank licensed New Zealand immigration advisor as well as education advisor, coming live once again from beautiful Hamilton in New Zealand on a Monday, which is what my slot is in the week for me to come live and speak to all you wonderful people live on Facebook and on YouTube and also on Instagram. So, yeah. So I'm streaming live on Facebook and YouTube through my laptop and Instagram through my trusted mobile phone. So, hello to everybody, and welcome back to yet another session of New Zealand education and migration questions and answers. So, new week, new haircut, as you can see, and hopefully, I'm looking like a dressed chicken. And but yeah, that was my week. Started off on a note to try and spruce up myself a little bit and make myself a bit more presentable, I guess, for all of you. So, talking about the haircut, so I was today at this haircutting salon in Hamilton, New Zealand, and after I finished my haircut, and I was just about walking out of the salon, there was a young guy who walked up to me, and I must confess, I didn't recognize him immediately, but he came forward and introduced himself and said, "Hey, Arun, I'm Lavesh." And the moment he said that name, of course, I knew that he was one of our AJV students. So Lavesh had come to New Zealand quite recently, and he is studying at one of the institutions here at Hamilton. So he recognized my car apparently, which was parked outside the salon, and then he came across to say hello to me, which I thought was fantastic. So Lavish, Sapra, and I had a bit of a catch up and spent some time together, and we spoke about him and where he's from and what he's aspiring to do in New Zealand. And then I quickly whipped out my phone and I gave him some context because he is studying something in supply chain, and I remember at least a few of our older clients who have completed their courses and settled very well into this particular field. So that's what I did, and Lavesh went away, I think, hopefully quite happy. And I told him, "Hey, look, buddy, we are always a phone call away at any time during your journey in New Zealand." And that is the AJ we promise to each and every one of you who land in New Zealand, because all you young people coming from different parts of the world and who are planning to come to New Zealand either as singles or as couples, are looking forward to that success here in this beautiful country. And it's my contention, as a migrant myself, that you require a good coach here in New Zealand after you come here, who will continue to help you throughout this entire journey. And even the best international stars in whichever sport take their coaches along with them. When they go to a foreign country, so that they can perform at their optimal level. And that is exactly what AJV does to its students and clients. And so, yeah, we are your coach here in New Zealand. We are your coach while you're still outside New Zealand. It does not matter which part of the world you're in. Primarily at this stage, a lot of our clients are coming from India, because India is one of the largest sending countries anywhere in the world, along with China. So, de facto, India would be one of our largest markets. But hey, look, we've also been fortunate and privileged to work with a lot of wonderful clients, just like from India, from other countries as well, including, China and Bangladesh and Philippines and Pakistan and Brazil and Egypt and Kenya and Uganda and Maldives and Mauritius and USA and pretty much many, many other countries. And recently, we also got our first client from Myanmar, or some of you might remember it by previous name Burma. So yeah, that's how we guys are expanding. Cool. So what else are we going to do while I'm waiting for some answers to come in, which will, sorry, questions to come in. My job is to provide the answers. So I'm hoping you guys will. What else have I been up to? Last time I showed you a little toy on my table, and I made a little story around it, saying, how your journey in New Zealand can be quite treacherous, and you touch the wrong things. And so, see what toy I bought this time. So I was out shopping for some stuff, and my eye suddenly landed on this from one of the stores here in New Zealand, and then I took a picture of it and I sent it to my team members. In fact, I started off with my own daughters and said, "Hey, guess what this is?" And my daughters thought it was a walkie-talkie, and so did most of my team members. And I kind of got back sarcastically and said, "You bloody millennials! What do you know?" Anyway, for those of you guys who have not seen it, it's something that we guys, all we older generation, grew up before the advent of the TV and the advent of the internet. This was our best friend, and the best friend is called transistor. There you go. So that's basically a small little radio. I'll shut up for a moment so that you guys can hear. So that's a little radio that we used to carry in our pockets. I'm just turning down the volume, and it would have the little pull-out antenna so that we catch, and then it would have AM and FM, which is amplitude modification and amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. So yeah, that's my little trivia. I'm also big into quizzing, and I don't go to sleep without watching two shows called The Chase, which is from the UK. Fantastic quiz program. And I also watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire from Australia, or actually, I think it's called Millionaire Hot Seat. So yeah, big into quizzing, and that's why I know my AM from my FM. And just citing that example to let you know that there are a lot of people out there who claim to know a lot about New Zealand education and migration, but you got to be careful. You've got to work with people that who will not just sell you a radio saying that there is AM and FM, dial in it, but who is able to go beneath the surface and say that AM stands for amplitude modulation and FM stands for frequency modulation, and what are the reasons why it works, and those kinds of technical detail. And that is where we guys at I think Asia, we are definitely head and shoulders above a lot of our competitors who sit and talk about New Zealand, and they don't live here in New Zealand. They have no clue about what they're talking about. They'll quite happily put you on a plane to Timbuktu if they'll make more money by sending you there. But we are very committed to New Zealand, to you guys and girls, and to our own team. Okay, after that little introduction. Hopefully, we have some queries coming through, and I hope you guys like my new haircut. So, anyway, Onil Pandit, my friend. Hey, Onil, Kiora, buddy, how are you doing? And Onil says, "Hi, Arun, Happy New Year. Good to see you back." Thank you so much, Onil. Same. It's lovely to see my, favorite viewers back online and watching this live broadcast. And thank you so much for those of you who is not aware, who's O'Neill is one of our fabulous clients and a friend now, and he is very well heeled in the hospitality industry, and we had the privilege of working with him and with his family to ensure that they could live permanently here in New Zealand. So O'Neill is one of our biggest supporters, and always grateful to you for that, O'Neill. Hope you had a fantastic Christmas and New Year, Matt. All right, cool. Okay. Ponil says I'm looking younger with my haircut. If that is the case, I'll start getting one every day, Onil. Anyway, right. So Ragini says my brother have been trying to contact AJV team. Can the team please contact him ASAP? Thank you. And I think I know she's shared her brother's email address. Hey, look, thanks, Ragini, for sharing that. But also coming to how your brother can also get in touch with us. Those are our contact details. We have an toll-free number in New Zealand, and we also have a toll-free number in India. So, just ask your brother if he's based in India to just pick up the phone and call the toll-free number in India, or if he's already in New Zealand, to give a call on our local toll-free number here in New Zealand, which is quite a fancy number, by the way. It is 0800, which is we call it 0800 here. So it's 0800 696977. It sounds a little naughty, but it actually stands for 0800 my NZPR. So if you look at your digit dial tone, So yeah, sorry guys, I'm getting a call, but I'll not take that. I'll just hang it up. So if you look at your dial pad on your keypad on your phones, you'll see that 696977 corresponds to MYNZPR. So it stands for 0800 MyNZPR. So, hopefully it was a clever way. But hey, Ragini, thanks for bringing this to my notice. Hey, team, I hope you guys are uh, trying to figure out who Ragini's brother is. My team has also asked me. Saying, "Hey, Ragini, if you could also, share your brother's number, that will be fantastic. If you don't want to share it in the public forum, just inbox it to me, and I'll pick it up from there, and I'll pass it on to my team, and we will get in touch with your brother. And I promise you, we will do the best we can for him. All right, and to the rest of our clients who get in touch with us. Thanks, Ragini, for being such a wonderful sister and taking the responsibility on behalf of your brother to let us know that he's trying to get in touch with us. We will certainly get in touch with him soon. All right, cool. Okay. Next is from Jitin Prasad, and it says, "Hello, Arun. My name is Jitin. I'm an AJV client. Fantastic, Jitin. You're the right kind of people I want to see here on my live sessions. Um, I got my AIP 2 days back. Thank you so much for the support. Hey, look, many congratulations, Jitin, for getting your approval in principle, which is what AIP stands for. So I'm so glad that you got your AIP, and thank you so much for trusting AJV with your process. Because as I said, there are a lot of people who are in this particular industry and business, but I genuinely think that we are possibly head and shoulders above a lot of other people. As I started off with my little toy here. Very few people, a lot of people will claim to know the radio, but very few people will know what the difference between AM and FM is. And that is the kind of people that we are at AJB, is that we will get into the depth of the subject matter so that we are always providing the right legal advice to you to ensure that your long-term aspirations come true. Reading on, Jitan's message is, I have applied to open a bank account at ANZ today. Wanted to know how long will that take. I'm coming to Wintech Hamilton. My course start on 6th of February. Hey, look, Jitin, this is all just a very procedural matters because, obviously, if you're applying to open a bank account in ANZ Bank, I bank with ANZ as well, by the way. So if somebody wants to send me some money, ask me for my account number and I'll give it to you. But yeah, so if are trying to open a bank account in ANZ, it means that you've probably been asked by the immigration officer to create something called an FTS account, which stands for Funds Transfer Scheme. So yeah, I mean, it's just a procedural thing. I don't think it will take too long. I mean, a few couple of days or 2 or 3 days maximum. And in the event you are not able to get a response back from ANZ, don't worry. Your visa officer, your from AJB, whoever is dealing with your visa, will ping our office here in New Zealand and say, "Hey, look, there is a delay with my client opening his bank account," and we'll pick up the phone and we will talk to the local guys here at ANZ here in New Zealand. And that's the beauty of working with somebody like AJB, and because you not only have a solid team of people who will support you in India, but we're also living here in New Zealand. And if things get really, really critical, I promise you, I'll get into my car and drive to ANZ and get it sorted. All right, so don't worry, just hang in there. As the proverbial saying or the proverb goes, the elephant has passed through. It's just the tail that's remaining. So don't worry too much about it. I'm sure we will see you here by 6th of February. And if you're going to be in Hamilton, it'll be fantastic. Our office is just about 5-10 minute walk, actually, just a 5 minute walk from Wintech, actually, because Wintech is in the middle of the city. So is the AJV office. So do drop by, and it'll be awesome to catch up with you and see you here in New Zealand, Jitin. All right. So continue to speak to your AJV officer. Okay. Okay. Somebody says I look like some Chris somebody. So, all right. Right. Looks like there aren't a lot of questions. I can see there is one more here which says, Ragini has commented back saying, "Thank you so much. I feel AGV Global is really the best among all." Thank you, Ragini. So I wish my brother gets best for the future. Thank you. Oh, absolutely, Ragini. Thank you, and thank you so much for that endorsement, because we can only be become the best if people like yourself and your brother who are actually going to utilize our services experience what it means to be an HGV client, and then talk about it and share about it with your family and friends. And because we can't sit here and say we are the best, because it's probably not the right thing for any organization which is trying its best every day to go around tom-tomming and saying we are the best. But it's good to get that endorsement from people like yourself, and which is something that we seem to get quite a bit from a lot of our clients. Because if you go to our Facebook page or go to our Facebook group, you'll see a lot of people are posting about AGV, especially those who have already had an experience working with us. And I promise you guys and girls that we don't ask them to post anything positive, nor do we, of course, we will not ask them to post anything negative. So all the feedback that you guys see either on YouTube or on Facebook or on Google or anywhere, it's all very genuine comments coming from very genuine students and clients who have experienced our process and our commitment. And I must say, as the guy who started this company and having a wonderful team of about, we are almost 40 people at this point, and we are spread across New Zealand. We have a large team in India. We have a colleague working out of Malaysia. We have a colleague working out of UK, and then we also have a colleague working out of Oman. So we have a lot of we have a good geographic spread as well, and it's very heartening to see that you guys experience our services, and then you give us this feedback, which is fantastic. Something else that also happens on our Facebook group quite often is that some of the competitors try to join that group, and I keep saying, hey, look, we would invite a good discussion and good advice to any of the students who are present or clients who are present in our group. But unfortunately, a lot of these times we let somebody into the group, and the next thing they do is they start spamming us with some stupid advertisements, and which is the reason we said, hey, look, we're not going to allow that. But hey, look, big thank you to everybody who supports us and follows our work, my live sessions and the live sessions of my colleagues like Mary and Tulika and Navya, who are all licensed immigration advisors. And we're going to have at least another 4 or 5 licensed immigration advisors on the team this year. So yeah, I mean, we are trying our best to ensure that we are always up to speed to help you guys and girls. All right, cool. Right. Hey guys, some of you are asking me questions without sharing your number. That's one of the unwritten rules of this live session, guys. If you are an AJV client, you will need to identify yourself and say, hey, look, I'm an AJV client, and I'll more than happily answer those questions. If you're not, we would really, really like it if you can share your contact number, because then we would like to engage with you and give you more information. There's only so much I can provide you in this live session, but after we this particular session is over, team can get in touch with you and engage in a very nice long detailed discussion, because we know at AJV that these decisions are not easy. We know that going overseas is not a simple task. We know it is filled with a lot of challenges. We know it involves a lot of money, time, and effort, and even emotions for that matter, because in certain instances, the families are getting split apart. We understand all these things, and we know that it cannot happen in one live session or one phone call or one email. It will require a very, very continuous interaction with us for a long period of time. And that is the reason we request you to share your number, because we would like to put all the information in front of you, and we are conscious also of the fact that a lot of you will not, in fact, I think only about 10 or 15% of the people who actually share their numbers or or our inquiries will actually land in New Zealand, and we are fine with the rest of the 85% of the people who can't make it, because we understand it is not an easy thing. So do not be hesitant to share your number. I promise you, we will not hound you to death and say, oh, you gave your number, so now you have to come to New Zealand. We will never ever do that. We respect you. We respect your time. We respect your commitment to, at least initiating the process and getting some information. If you decide to come, great. If you don't decide to come, that's fine. We understand your personal circumstances are not permitting it. But hey, look, continue to be on our groups and our YouTube and our channels, and enjoy our live sessions and the rest of the posts that we keep doing, and share it with your family and friends. Who knows? You will probably not benefit from our expertise, but somebody in your family or your friend circle might benefit. So yeah. So that's the deal, guys. So please share your number, and don't be worried that we're going to then come and sit on your head and say you have to come to New Zealand now, right? Cool. All right. Next question is from Nandagopal Chandiran. He has not shared his phone number, but I will answer the question anyway. This is only an exception, guys. I'm not going to answer everybody else. And Nandagopal asks, will there be any rejection for study because of age? Depends, Nandagopal, how old you are, because some of our clients who have procured successfully to get a student visa were definitely above 50 years of age. So we had no problem getting a visa for them, because it's not about your age, because you got to bear in mind that I talk very point blank. You guys know I call myself the friendly and frank licensed immigration advisor, which reminds me, I didn't show you guys my license today, but which is my normal routine when I start my session. But yeah, that's my license right there, and this license, which has to be renewed in March of this year, allows me to sit here and provide legal advice to all of you about migrating to New Zealand. But yeah, so the because we are point blank and we are very in your face and friendly and frank about the advice we provide, why would the government of New Zealand have a problem about the age of an international student? Because the money you bring into the country, the fees that you bring into the country, is very valuable revenue for us. It is valuable foreign exchange for us, and it supports one of our largest industries right now. If I'm not mistaken, our international education is now number four in New Zealand as one of a large revenue earners. So the government really, I don't think, really would care about. Immigration department might, query if you're too old, because, excuse me, then they might ask you, hey, look, why the heck? But for all they care, you could be 60 years old and deciding to come to New Zealand for a PhD, and I think they'll be fine with it. Or you could be 60 years old from China and coming to New Zealand to learn English, and they'll be fine with it, as long you can provide a valid admission and the right funds and the right intention. And if you're somebody who can stay back and become a valuable resident and citizen of this country, they will consider that as well. If you can't, then they will check to see that you have enough ties back in your country to be able, that you have a a motivation to go back. So absolutely, age is not a criteria, Nandu Gopal, and you can talk to us. Please connect with us. Please share your number if you can, because then that will help us to uh, get in touch with you and provide you with more details. All right. So quick break, guys. Taking a sip of water. Mm. And in doing that, of course, I showed off my new mug as well with that awesome A on it. It was a gift I bought for myself. So yeah. All right. Just checking to see if I have any any feedback from my team while I kept catch my breath as well. Right, there's a question that is posted by my colleague Sonia, and in our Skype chat. My wonderful team supports me when I go live, or Mary, or Tulika, or Navya. There's a whole bunch of very, very smart people who are backing us up. So we just sit here and act like the ones who know it all, but we actually have a brilliant team of people doing the research and giving us the background information as well. But Sonia has shared here saying, "Hey, look, Vinay Gopi Kumar has written saying, hi, sir, I'm an AJV client. Fantastic, Vinay. Thank you for choosing AJV. Much appreciated. And I have applied for student visa last week. Is there any tips from your experience for tackling visa interview? My client, okay. And so Sonia adds that, she is, you are her client, and, and that she is already working with you on how to face a mock call. But to answer your question, Vinay, is there any tip from your experience for tackling visa interview? I have one tip, and an extremely important tip: be truthful. That's all. That's the best tip I can give you guys, and not just Vinay, but anybody of our AGV students who are watching this particular broadcast at this point and wondering, hey, look, what is the way to tackle an interview from a visa officer? Simple. Be truthful, guys. Be honest. They love honesty. In fact, I have a nice big TV on the opposite wall of where I sit and do my work. And just before I got onto this live session, I was watching a program called Border Security, which talks about how immigration officers behave at the border when planes land and passengers get off, and how they screen the passengers and who they're pulling apart. So a lot of people think that getting visa is great. No, but there can be a further check at the border, and I keep following that program quite regularly, and I've noticed that when passengers are honest, when passengers are straightforward, and passengers don't try not to hoodwink and tell lies to these officers, they are always you know uh, a bit more considerate in their decisions. So same thing for you, when I don't try to make up anything that you have not done. Do not try to cover up anything that you don't have. Just be honest. And if there was a gap of, let's say, 6 months in your career because you just decided to go on a nice long road trip somewhere, just talk about it and say you were on a nice long road trip. Don't try to say that for those 6 months I was trying to do a project or whatever, because once you start asking more pertinent questions, and visa officers are trained to ask those questions and understand who is saying the truth versus who is saying the lie. And we know it because we have a whole bunch of ex-immigration officers who are now part of Team AJB. So and it's just common sense, really. And I've maintained this for the last 15 or 16 years that I've been in the industry. Be honest, be truthful. That's the best tip I can provide for your interview. And of course, be prepared with good information as to what is the course you're planning to do, what are the papers in that particular course, how do these papers relate to your background, what your future aspirations. Get some information about the institution you're going to. Don't just say, oh, I think it's in Auckland. Don't say that. Say that I know it is in Auckland at this particular address, and I know it's been, well established since the last, so many years. They have all these departments. I have chosen to go into the Department of Business, and this is the course that I'm planning to do. And in this course, these are all the papers, and I'm particularly picking these papers because in my previous job I did this particular role, and because of that I see a very strong match. And that's pretty much it, Vinay. And all the very best. And the other thing about us as a team, guys and girls, is that AJB also presents something called visa ready files, or decision ready files to Immigration New Zealand, because as I said, we are also very truthful and honest and straightforward, and we just take all the facts and figures from you guys and girls who want to apply, and then we put it all together in a very professional sort of a letter, and and make sure that all your documents are vetted and sent properly. And by and large, a lot of our students even get their visas without actually having an interview as well. So it's not always mandatory that you will always need to have an interview. Sometimes it might just so happened that a visa officer going through the file that we present will go through and say, yep, everything I want is right here. And yeah, all the documents are good. The statement of purpose clearly explains what Vinay is going to New Zealand for. Yeah, I'm good. Here's the visa, approved. And then you pay the fees, and then of course you get your e-visa, and then you land in New Zealand, my friend. All right, cool. Radio. Digvijay here asks about IT sector in New Zealand. Brilliant, Digvijay. We are a country that is trying very hard to develop our IT sector, along with quite a few other sectors. So we have three identified future growth areas in New Zealand. IT is one of them for sure, and then we have biotechnology, which is also one of our identified future growth areas, and we also have the creative industries, which includes a whole host of things. It's so the creative industries is like an umbrella, which includes journalism, broadcast, film, television, 3D animation, so on and so forth. So yeah, these are our three identified areas, Digvijay, and we also, at the moment, we also have IT on our long-term skill shortage list. I think, in fact, IT would have the maximum number of positions which is on the long-term skill shortage list at this point in time. So yeah, IT has got fantastic scope in New Zealand, and if you already are somebody who has a bit of experience, even better. If you don't have, doesn't matter because the shortage is pretty high, and you could potentially come here and and pick up something. So thanks for sharing your number, Digvijay. One of our team members will get in touch with you, and while you're processing your application through us, if you want to speak to some more of our ex students who have come to New Zealand and studied IT and then moved on and successfully ended up becoming a resident or settled down here, we are more than happy to connect you. In fact, we have such a lovely, lovely bunch of our ex students and current students who love working with or sharing their experiences and their own journey with people coming. And we absolutely love these guys and girls who are always putting their hand up and saying, hey, look, anybody wanting to come to New Zealand, please let them know that we are here to speak to them as well. So we are happy to connect you, Digvijay, which means even much before you land here, you might end up with some friends, and you have some queries, you can also clear it with them as well. All right, cool. Right, Prashant Kumar says, hi, Arun, nice to see you. Thanks, Prashant. Same here. Nandagopal says, rejection of visa as I am 39 and my wife is 37. If you plan to study and seek visa. Hey, look, that's what I was saying, Nandagopal. 37 and 39 is very, very young, my friend. You're talking to a 51-year-old guy who is going to turn 52 this year. So 39 is, we call you, in New Zealand, we will call you a spring chicken. That's our term for people who are really, really, really young. So, you are absolutely a spring chicken, Nand Gopal. But you know what? I mean, jokes apart, I think what you're trying to do is very important. Because it's also when you're 39, 30, in the late 30s, and you're about to move into your 40s, is a very crucial moment in anybody's life. As a guy who's crossed that particular bridge myself, I think it's a very important point in a person's journey, personally and professionally. And if and these are that's actually a very good time in somebody's life to make those crucial decisions and go for it. So, because if you keep waiting longer, then soon you'll from 39, you'll become 45 and 47 and 48. And the older you get, the less your motivation becomes. Which is why, you're still the right side of 40. Take those decisions boldly, go for it. I can see from the way you've written your query that you are a guy, who seems to have decent English, which is a big, massive asset. So go for it. And you're as if you're going to come as a couple, I think it's one of the best strategies right now that a couple can, take forward in New Zealand, is that one of you comes to study and the other one comes to work. I think it's brilliant because you guys will pretty much earn back whatever you've invested within no time, and whoever is taking the work visa, if you come with a good solid background in one of our skill shortage areas, or even otherwise, even if it's not a skill shortage area, I don't see any reason why you can't pick up a job and get to the right salary level and be able to apply for residence. So absolutely the right time, Nand Gopal. Do not sit on that wall of indecision for too long. You need to go for it now. This is not just a licensed immigration advisor speaking, but also a person who crossed that bridge that you're about to cross. Like I said, I just crossed my 50th bridge 1 year back, and 10 years before that, I crossed my 40 bridge. So I'm glad with the decisions I took in my life at the right time, and which is why I'm very, very happy that you're talking to us. But last but not the least, it's very important that you are speaking, because slightly more senior students like you will need to get a much deeper understanding about how things happen, and which is where you've got to work with somebody like AJV, because we come with tons of experience and a lot of commitment to make sure that all our clients are happily settled in New Zealand. So yeah, get in touch with us. Please share your number. I'll appreciate it if you can actually share your number before this chat is over, so that it also shows your commitment from your side. I have taken the trouble of answering your question at a reasonably elaborate level, although you haven't shared your number. So as your mark of courtesy, if you can share your number and one of our team members can get back to you, that will be awesome. Conversely, you can just give us a call. That's where you can call us, not just Nandagopal, but everybody watching this particular broadcast can get in touch with Team AJV in our on our toll-free numbers or through our email address, and we will gladly connect with you guys. Or just ping me on Facebook, and we try to make it nice and easy. And the motto of our company is success through simplicity. So we don't have elaborate telephone systems, nothing. We believe that when people ping us, we respond to you. Simple. So it's got to start with you guys. You will have to ping us and we will respond to you. All right. And to ping us, you can either do it through Facebook or YouTube, or just call us on our toll free numbers, or just send us an email. And I promise you, we will revert back to you. All right. Cool. Whoa, that's hard work. Right. Maulik Brahmabhat has asked a question, but no number there. So I'm going to just skip that and move forward. And then Vinay Gopikumar, I've already answered. Vinay, hope you are happy with my answer. Jitin is coming back and asking another question saying, hi, Arun, also wanted to know the rent per week. And Jitin, next thing you will ask me is how many buttons the toilet flush will have and things. Okay, Joe. No, I'm not trying to trivialize your question. I'm just saying that we have a specific person in charge of taking care of these queries from our clients, Jitin. This person's name is Anjana. Anjana Vijaydas. If you go to AJV Global website and in the team page, you will see Anjana's name is there. Anjana is our onshore support coordinator, and her only role is to ensure that we can answer your questions about rent and other things, Jitin. I mean, like, seriously, you don't want to ask a guy with 15, 16 years of experience as a licensed immigration advisor to sit and talk about rent here. But hey, look, don't worry. Like I said, I'm happy to answer that as well. But, like I said, we have a specific person only for that purpose. So get in touch with Anjana. And what we do, and as part of our process, is that whenever somebody has got very specific questions about how to prepare to come into New Zealand, Anjana will actually do a Skype call with you, or a WhatsApp call, and give you all the details. And Anjana herself is an international student, by the way. So she came into New Zealand, I think it's about 7 or 8 months now. And so we liked her attitude, her skill and knowledge. So we actually hired her to work with AGV. And so she takes care of it. So get in touch with Anjana, Jitin, and about immigration questions, ask me, and I'll be happy to answer that. Okay, cool. Adnan says, hi Arun, how are you doing? Very well, Adnan. Fantastic as always, and hoping for a nice big 2020. Mano S says, I have some queries. What is the cost of rent in Auckland? Again, Mano, not right for me to waste my time on a 1 hour session to be talking about rent, because I am a licensed immigration advisor, and I'd like you guys to ask me more important questions than just about rents in Auckland. Yeah, so yeah. But if you're an AJV client, get in touch with Anjana, and she will give you all the details. But otherwise, it's a matter of just a simple Google search, and there is a website called newzealandnow.govt.nz, which actually gives you a complete picture of the living expenses in New Zealand. But I mean, if you are an AJV client, get in touch with Anjana, and then you can not only ask about rents, but you can also ask about lots of other details as well. All right, cool. Right. Anil says, very truly said, Arun, you do what you preach. And that's why you're popular among clients like us. AJV is the best to work with for your future in New Zealand. Hey, thanks, Anil. As I know I was just gloating about me being the old guy here in this live broadcast, and I was telling somebody who's just about to hit their 40s that, listen to a 50-year-old guy. But as one keeps getting older, you also realize that it's life is a lot simpler if you're straightforward and honest and frank. And we carry the, I mean, I think my team and I, we carry exactly the same attitude into our work as well, because this particular work we do is about changing people's lives. And we have to be extremely careful about the kind of advice we provide people. And because they going abroad, when I think about my own journey with my family when we moved overseas, it is such an emotional nightmare, frankly. I think it's very, very emotionally draining and challenging. And to not give good, honest advice to people who are already so emotionally drained, I think is a mortal sin. And that's the kind of attitude we carry, O'Neill and the rest of people watching this broadcast right now. And that's the path we've decided to take. It's easy for us to make money by probably giving half cooked information, or things like we don't. We genuinely are here to make sure New Zealand attracts the best talent, and the talent we work with is getting the right advice and the right services. And that process, I think we will also end up being a very profitable company as well. All right. So thanks, Anil, for your ongoing support. Much, much appreciated, Matt. And I hope the family is doing well. Yeah. Okay, I have a question from Naveen Kumar, but no number there, so I'm gonna skip that. Right, another question from Jess Kumar, but again, no number, so I'll have to skip that. Come on, guys, start sharing your start sharing your number. Okay, I'm just reading through comments from my team to see if Naveen Kumar. Okay, Naveen, you've been shaved. Sorry, you've been. I was about to say shaved. You've been saved. By the proverbial straw, because I just saw a comment on Skype from your AJV advisor, Ruben, who says that you are his client. So he confirmed on your behalf that, you are an AJV client. So I strolled back up to come back and answer your question. So your question is, are the courses in each colleges and universities are structured in a way that it is getting the students prepared for the real-time jobs, which is actually available? Yeah, absolutely, Naveen. I mean, which education would not lead eventually to employment, or to a livelihood? Everything we do, I can't, you probably can't see it, but if I flip my laptop just a little bit, you'll see some of my certificates on the wall there. I have my BCom honors, I have my graduate diploma in New Zealand immigration advice, and sorry, graduate certificate in New Zealand immigration advice, and I also have my courses I've done in Maori language. So the entire purpose of those courses was that I could be gainfully employed. So absolutely, likewise, your course, irrespective of whether you go into a private institution or whether you're going to a university or an institute of technology, they're all structured, and the to ensure that people come out at the end of it with the right skills and job and sorry skills and knowledge, and hopefully the right attitude as well to be able to find employment in the real world. I think that's the purpose of every course on earth, and not just in New Zealand. So don't worry about it. And I think New Zealanders, by nature, are very practical. They are very hands-on kind of people. Again, I've changed a lot after I moved to New Zealand, and which is probably why we have a motto of our company called "Success Through Simplicity," because New Zealand actually made me into a very, very simple person. I've stopped having any unnecessary attachments to me which are not required, because New Zealanders just get the job done, simple, that's it. For us it's about getting the job done, and the courses are also meant to get the job done, which is to help you find a job. So don't worry too much about it. And Ruben also confirms to me that you are looking at doing a master's course from University of Waikato, which is fantastic, and then something like the digital business. So yeah, fabulous. And you already have a fantastic background in IT. I promise you, I think you will do really, really well in this particular field. All right, Naveen. So look forward to seeing you here. I hope you are a cricket player, because this year I'm very keen to start the first AJV cricket team here in New Zealand. And I plan to make AJB the sponsor for this team, and we are probably going to be buying a small minivan as well to take the team around and also the rest of our clients around. Okay, so hope to see you here in Hamilton soon, Navin. Okay, take care. Akshay Philip asks, Sir, can you tell me scope in mechatronics in New Zealand? Fantastic, Akshay. I think mechatronics again is one of those beautiful marriages of mechanical engineering with electronics engineering, and I think it's one of the best marriages on earth to have married mechanical with electronics and end up with a child called mechatronics, which is, I think, fantastic. Mechatronics is at that cutting edge of synthesizing all the knowledge of mechanical into, I mean, like I said, I mean, as much as I keep showing this little transistor here, I actually bought it because I've always, from my childhood, I had a desire to build a radio by myself. So I used to go around buying all those little components, the resistors, the capacitors, and the PCB and all those kinds of things, and try to find a soldering iron and put it all together. So electronics is exciting as, and so is mechanical. Mechanical is another thing. Why I personally get very excited about a subject like mechatronics is because I actually do a lot of DIY, as we call it here in New Zealand. It's called do it yourself. So I actually try and build my own furniture sometimes, and even in that I try and fix wheels and this and that and all those kinds of things. So I'm quite a mechanical orientated guy, and so also am I towards electronics, and which is why I think it's one of the most cutting edge fields to be in. And I can think of two or three brilliant courses, and I think it's a great subject to consider, Akshay. So, and thanks for sharing your number. We One of our team members will get in touch with you from AJV. So, yeah, respond to them, have a nice long conversation, discuss it with your parents, talk to mom, dad, and see if it fits your budget and your other things as a family. And if it does, please come to New Zealand, because we require smart young people like you who are planning to take on exciting subjects like mechatronics. And we will stand by you as your advisor, not just today, but through your entire journey. All right. Thanks, Akshay. And I hope to see you here in New Zealand soon. All right. Cool. Rohit Shah says, please check and reply my email. I'll have to do that. I'll check and respond, Rohit, but I frankly can't remember. Mondays are always crazy, guys. Mondays is like this whole pile up of emails from over the weekend, and all that joy of the weekend goes away the moment I switch on my laptop and you see this big bunch of email, like, you're back to Monday kind of thing. And which is probably another reason that, I like to speak on Mondays, because it takes me away from the routine for a little bit. And I can kind of, I like doing this, I like to sit and have a banter with all you guys and girls, and share my views and thoughts and ideas and knowledge about moving to New Zealand. So, and hopefully I will also motivate some of you guys also suffering at work, not my team, who are thinking, oh man, not another bloody Monday, to think of starting a new life in a new country like New Zealand. And that's another reason I like to come live on Mondays, and not for my team. Guys, one more time, caveat, this is for people outside AJB team, not for my team. So anyway, so yeah, that's the way it is. So yeah, I will check your email as soon as I can, and I will try and respond to that. All right, cool. Okay, Ankit, my friend and a fantastic AJV client, stays in Wellington, smart young man, very impressive. I was very happy to meet him when I was in Wellington last time. Says being truthful also eliminates the risk of tumbles and bluffs. Best way to convince my any human being instantly. I agree with that, Ankit, absolutely, because you end up trying to bluff somebody or say an untruth, and then you later forget what exactly you said. But hey, look, here I am. Each and every word of mine gets recorded on Facebook and on Instagram and on YouTube, and it's there for posterity, for people to listen to and watch. Hopefully, my grandkids will watch it someday and say, "Oh, that's the old man who started this whole thing." So, yeah, I think absolutely agree with you, Ankit, completely on that. Yeah, be truthful, guys. Be truthful, not just in your visa applications and stuff like that, but just in life as a policy. I think being truthful is actually something that's quite effective. I can tell you that. Right. Shamal says. Shamal is another one of our fantastic AJB clients. If you go back and scroll through our AJB group, we have a group on Facebook called NZ Options, which is getting more and more popular. I think we are almost on the verge of going up to 23,000 members in that one. And I love that group because there's some very good, honest conversations happening there and good engagements. And Shamal is, anyway, is one of our clients who recently got his visa approved, and I think we're going to see him very shortly here in New Zealand. And he made a beautiful meme. He put it up there. I thought it was really funny and very creative as well. And so yeah, look for Shamal's meme people on the AJV group or on the AJV page, and it is there in all its glory for all of you to see. But hey, Shamal, good to see you've joined in, mate. Yeah, welcome back as always. Okay, sir, Rakesh Yadav. Okay, I'm gonna quickly take a sip of water and I'm gonna check to see if there's anything from my team. Okay, so I'm going to answer a question from Ankita Gupta, which has been flagged to me by my colleague Nisha. Ankita has asked, "Hi, sir. I have applied for master's course in University of Waikato, Hamilton campus, and Wintec Hamilton campus as well, and postgraduate diploma in management from Toi Ohomoi Tauranga campus through AJB. Which course would be better to go for? Got unconditional offer letter from Wintec." Okay, rest two are pending. Okay. Hey, Ankita, if I'd say wait to get all the three offers, but I would encourage you to consider, uh, being in Hamilton. Not that I have anything against Tauranga because we quite actively promote Toyo Homoi as well, and it's a fantastic institution as well. But mainly by virtue of the fact that we are present in Hamilton, and in case you do require some support, we will always be there. So I would say that will actually be a good thing to consider. I'd say wait till you get your offers from all three institutions, and one way to decide which is probably something that you need to consider seriously is to go through the papers of each and every one of these courses and see what appeals to you most. And that in itself is a very good factor that will determine which particular course you will need to go for. But otherwise, have a chat with us again. And I'd say, in terms of the institutions, they're all good institutions, all owned and operated by the government of New Zealand. But if you're keen to go only to a university, then of course it is restricted only to the University of Waikato. But both Wintec and Toyo Homai are also institutes of technology. I know I have not given you a clear answer. I mean, I didn't say choose one or two or three because I should not be making that decision for you, and that's the reason I'm kind of making it a bit more of a holistic answer. Because at the end of the day, Ankita, it's you who is doing the course and not me. Because if it's me who is doing the course, in fact, now strangely enough, if I ever do a master's in business management, I already know which particular institution I'm going to go through, and I can tell you it's not a university. But I don't care, because to me it was not the institution or the location. For me, it was about the contents of that course and what it is going to do to me as a senior business professional. So I think the content of the course is the defining factor, Ankita. But like I said, you've chosen all three fantastic institutions. If you can be in Hamilton, great. If you can't, even Tauranga is not too far away. Tauranga is only about 1 hour in that direction. All right. Continue to speak to Nisha, and we will see you here in New Zealand. So, moving on to the next question from Rakesh Yadav. And Rakesh writes was looking for a culinary course. Last week on 8th January, he said he. Okay, so Right. Rakesh, I have a bit of an issue with your query, Rakesh, because I got feedback from your advisor Neha, who was speaking to you that on 8th of January you told her that you have dropped your plans, and that she called just now to confirm if you're inquiring to kind of reactivate your plans, and you said that it is for your friend, but you're not sharing your friend's number, and Neha thinks that you might be working with some other agency, and I know it's not the right way to do things, Rakesh, because if you want us to give us our advice, then you need to be honest and upfront with us, and say that this is for yourself, or if it's for your friend. If it's for your friend, just share us your friend's number, and then we will happily have um, a conversation with your friend. But if it's for yourself, and if you're still undecided, I don't know why you're waiting so long to decide which particular institution, which particular company you want to use to enter New Zealand. I keep saying this over and go to our website, and on our services page at the bottom it says the advantages of being an AJB client, and clearly tells you all those big massive advantages of coming to New Zealand through AJB. I mean, look today on the when I asked if you rewind this particular session and go back to um, the start of it, I said I ran into one of our students on the streets of Hamilton when I went to get a haircut. And the first thing, we started talking about work, various job opportunities. And I pulled out my phone and I gave him, a contact and said, get in touch with this person. And, he's from your field. And that's the kind of advantages you guys will have coming to New Zealand through AJB. We have parties for our students. We have get-togethers for our students. This year, we are planning to organize industry specialists to come in and speak about particular industries only to AJB students and help them to get prepared to, get into the job. But after all that, if you guys still can't make up your mind and want to go work with somebody else, and then land in New Zealand and say, "Oh, I really should have gone with AJB." Seriously, guys, I would begin to doubt your sanity. All right, Rakesh. So, yeah, make up your mind for and if it's for your friend, please ask your friend to get in touch with us. We're more than happy to help him. But even for you, I don't want you to come here, through some other guy who will disappear after you get on the plane, and then you land here, and then you realize, oh my God, I really should have gone with AJB because AJB is providing such good support to all its students. So, oh well, your call. For every student we lose, we get 10 more. So, we are not too, stressed about it, but it's for you guys to take the right call for your own future. All right? Cool. Okay. Some guy writes, East or West, Jacob is the best. Thanks, Rohit. Appreciate that. Okay, Nirosh. Okay, I'm going to flick back. I was on Skype, so I'm going to go back to. Right, Nirosh asked, hi, what is if we miss the visa interview call? Not a good situation, Nirosh, to miss the visa interview call. And I know sometimes it can be a little tricky because you might be in the bathroom and you could have probably left your phone outside, and right at that moment the visa officer decides to call you. So there can be those tricky situations, and see, the visa interview is not always a mandatory thing, as I keep saying. Always, it may happen, it may not happen. Sometimes a visa officer can, approve an application without actually having to do an interview. But by and large, my advice would be to try and hold on to the phone and keep it within an arm's distance, and make sure it's not on silent, and try and stay in a zone where there is good coverage. And if you do miss a visa interview, don't be stressed, because, as I told you, we are people who have a good rapport with Immigration New Zealand. So we will call, and as licensed immigration officers, we also have a dedicated helpline. So we will call and check who was the visa officer who was trying to get in touch with you, and we will get the email address of that visa officer and write back to that officer and ensure that he or she calls you again, or we will ensure that we engage them to make sure that it does not result in a decline. All right, Niroj, so don't stress too much. We are good at what we do, and we will manage the situation for you. All right, cool. Look at Arun blushing. All right. Question from Srikant Krishnamurthy and says, I am an AJV client. Hey, Srikant, lovely to hear that. Always here for our clients and have a query mentioned earlier. Looking forward for your valuable inputs. And your query was if we study work in data science analyst job, will we be able to claim points for long-term skills in PR? Although it's in IT, but the role is not mentioned in long-term skills shortage list. Okay, so the way this works, Srikant, is that not all roles will be listed, obviously, because IT would have many roles, and sometimes there will also be a term that they use in the long-term skill shortage list. But while we are speaking, I can do a quick check to see if data analyst is actually there in um, the long-term skill shortage list or not. So just give me a moment while I go to the right page and alrighty, let's see what comes up. Data analyst. Okay, so we have right. I'm trying to say. So we have database administrator and the long-term skill shortage list. Database architecture is there for sure. Uh, yeah, so that those are what are mentioned. And so if you look at the same list again one more time, Krishnamurti, sorry, Srikant, you will see there is also a very interesting position which has got the number 263299, and it says ICT support and test engineers NEC, which stands for not elsewhere classified. So every time that word that term NEC comes into the picture, it means that there are certain of the positions that have not been included into the list, and which is where an individual visa officer will have the discretion to go through the job profile of the of the offer and go through the job description and to see if it actually is something that will match a position within ICT. And that's our job, as licensed immigration advisors and as your advisor, because Srikant, if you're going to come to New Zealand through AJV, you can be assured that there will be continuous support for you throughout your entire journey. So when you get a job, you can refer back that offer letter to us, and free of cost we will tell you whether it is something for which we can claim points in the skill shortage list. If not, what changes might be required for that. So but I would say don't stress too much at this point, because we have such a shortage of IT skills in New Zealand at the moment, that by and large a lenient view is taken of people who are into data analysis and things like that, because by and broadly speaking they do fall into the IT umbrella anyway. So yeah, anyhow, so that was it. And I don't know where the heck I left on my belt somewhere. I had those little bell that I ring and say the time for this particular session is up. So my colleague, right. And I have, sorry, before I move on, Srikant, I also have some good piece of research done by my colleague Ruben, who says that business analyst is on the long-term skills shortage list, which is in line to data analysis for key business. And, so like I said, I don't want to give you, 100% assurance right now, because it's not the right way to do it. Like I said, these things take a lot of discussions, and but broadly speaking, if you are getting a position in information technology, New Zealand will want you, because we have a pretty severe shortage of people who are well versed in IT and engineering and various other areas, including in business as well. Although business doesn't probably come under the long-term skill shortage list. We have a massive shortage of people, and I'm constantly looking for licensed immigration advisors to join our team. So if anybody is watching this and wants to apply, please send your CV to director at ajvglobal.com. But yeah, so don't get too stressed about it, because for you the best part is throughout your journey, AJV will stand and we will keep advising you. And as long as you're an IT guy and getting a job in the IT sector, I think you'll be just fine. All right, guys and girls, thank you very much. As always, it was a good session. I'm going to show off my mug one more time before we close for the day. And just for old time's sake, so this is what we guys used to carry in our pockets when I was in college, and we didn't have television those days. I mean, there was TV, but we didn't have the internet and stuff. So we would carry this to college, so that if there was a cricket match happening somewhere in India, we would listen to the commentary on this little radio, and the commentators would describe the action that was happening on the field, like practically step by step. And that's exactly how we are hoping to help you guys and girls to come to New Zealand is to describe each and every step, and ensure that you reach the right destination in a beautiful country like Aotearoa, New Zealand. All right, till the next time, take care. Kakitiano, which is see you later, and Po Maria, which is good night. Bye bye.